progress.
Hello and welcome. Let's begin with our virtual housekeeping. Mute your mic when you're not speaking. Please have your video turned on at all times. If you want to be anonymous and keep your video off, you're more than welcome to do so. Please use your headset if possible, especially if you're in a crowded and noisy area. To ask a question, use raise hand button. Usually you will find this button on your Zoom control bar. Alternatively, you can use the chat box and ask your question as well. For high resolution of this video stream on Zoom, use the switch to share content button on top left of your screen. With the experience that we had with Zoom, the legibility of text presented in the presentation is much clearer on a screen size of 12 inch or above. So we will appreciate to use, if you use the 12 inch or above screen size for legible text, my bad, I was muted. Hello and welcome to you all. My name is Vishal and this is our cohort for the bid and proposal, that is APMP, Association for Proposal Management Professionals. Let me just, okay, I was just checking if the other social media platforms that we are at the moment on, for example, LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube, we are there as well, as we are live. despite being on Zoom. So just want to make sure that we have good audio. We will begin our session number 21. Welcome to you all. Congratulations. You took out time for your personal development. Just to let you know that APMP, you just saw the promo video couple of seconds ago rather. APMP is assembling after Mumbai's 2020 edition, which happened in February, March sometime. And we are meeting again after the pandemic is over as a bid and proposal conference that we call BPC Asia, happening in Mumbai 15th to 16th of September, 2 days event where all the experts or stalwarts of the industry would be there. You come down over there to network with people, understand how people in bid industry, business proposal management, as well as business development, graphic design, how people are actually making their bids more winnable. And that's the overall sessions. There are more than 26 sessions that will be happening over there, and you all are welcome to visit it. So going forward, as far as our body of knowledge is concerned, we are at focus on the customer section, and we from the focus of customer, focus on customer, we have covered compliance, responsiveness, we have covered customer analysis, and before that we also saw understanding business development, so wherein we studied a best practice from within the APMP body of knowledge, how you would be able to how does an organization, or what are the best practices for an organization to change itself from an unknown position to a known position to a favored position. And that's what all the organization, most of the organization, they are constantly striving to get attention of their customers, and of course are as well trying to do research and development, and of course make their mark in the industry and be in a favored position. So tomorrow, if somebody talks about photocopying, the word Xerox comes to your mind just that instant. Somebody talks about operating system, Microsoft comes to your mind, Windows comes to your mind for that matter. So that's how the overall that is the favored position, and that favored position comes out of a lot of hard work being put into the development of the software and services for the industry. And sometimes organizations piggyback on their other core areas. For example, we can safely say that Windows was Microsoft was a Wintel win-win situation. I'm just taking an example from the software industry, but there are many other examples in other industries as well. Me being worked in more than one industry, I can quote more of them. So coming back to our example, so other than being a Wintel software company that could actually only develop an operating system for your desktop, your laptop, starting from DOS into 3.1 workstation, then 95, 98, and trust me, I've seen all these versions. I've installed them myself and I've used them myself, so I know the industry. So it has been they piggybacked on their core area of having a desktop operating system, and they started moving themselves into server. Okay, so when they started server systems, people they were not taken that much seriously because IBM was already flooded over there. HP was also flooded over there with all these kind of technologies. But slowly and steadily, they started doing research work, and they became into a favored position. Now, if you go out and try to buy out a web space, you will find a Windows server run machine as well as a Linux run machine as well. So that's coming back to our topic again. That's how an organization changes itself or graduates itself from an unknown position to a known position. So we saw executive summaries, very important section. We saw how your bid can be compliance and responsive. And when it comes to responsiveness, it's how aligned is your response to the organization, to the company who has floated this tender in word, and in the US it's called proposals and bids and so on and so forth. In some part of the world it's called tender, and tenders would be floated out by government organizations, private organizations as well, and they have their own ways of evaluating them. But you need to make sure that your bid is compliant and, of course, responsive. So from all these focus on customer body of knowledge points, we're going to look at today the best practices as far as the features, benefits, and discriminators that you will be going through the as far as your bid should be having. Okay, so so the moment you want to, as an organization, we want to establish ourselves, what features we are giving, what benefits are giving, and what are our discriminators. There are some best practices. Okay, understand your customer needs. Now, at times, the pre-bid work that has been done, perhaps a legwork that has been done by perhaps from your business development department, or your department or your salespeople, if they are very closely knit with the end user, they know what is the pain area of the customer, what are the hot buttons of the customer, and that may not be spelled out very clearly in the bid, in the scope of work of the bid, or the compliance requirement of the bid, but that is the core area that the customer wants it to be to be addressed in your bid. So if that knowledge is there with you, your executive summary highlights that part, saying that and in your feature, benefits, and discriminators, you highlight that part. You would be able to, as an organization, you will be able to position your bid at a better place. Okay, and your acceptance of the bid starts moving towards win-win. Then you develop and evaluate competitive intelligence. Now that's very important. It's a very competitive world these days, and standards, that's the reason there are tools and techniques defined in APMP body of knowledge, wherein which you can use for your building of your tender, when you're compiling your tender, which you can use to ensure that, at least, because these tools and techniques have been in the industry being used by organizations for quite a long time, and they have increased their win ratio by a substantial percentage, their win and loss ratio. So understand your competitor as well, what they can give, what you cannot give. We will see like a union chart or something like that in our session today. We're just inching towards our end today. We are already at our designated 15 minutes, but I will just run through it quickly, and we will see that slide as well, and we will take it again in our next session as well. Use feature benefit tables. Okay, make a table. I mean, in other words, you have everything in your mind. Your colleagues have it in your mind. Put it onto a piece of paper or on an Excel file, and make a benefit table, and of course ponder about it, and then you will be able to make out that, is this feature or benefit good enough for the end user, that is your user. Quantify the potential value of benefits. Try to quantify them. Like, for example, there are two salesmen, and one salesman, they are selling the same car. Let's say they are selling the same car, and one of the guys says, so this car is spacious enough to seat a driver and somebody with him, and your whole family. Whereas the other one says, in the front row you can have two people, and in the back row you can have five people, just for example. Okay, so try to quantify your potential value, and apply the so what litmus test. So it's a very You know, now let's take an example of the car salesman, and he says, "Sir, you can fit your whole family in there. So what? Okay, the other car can also do it. Big deal." So, is that feature that you're talking about, is it good enough for the customer? Okay, now the moment he says that, and of course, if the cost benefit of the car, which wherein the customer who has only 3 family members is fitting in the same car, and it has a cost benefit, okay, of course that would be a win-win one. So very quickly we will go to the next slide, and you can see that's our sweet spot as far as the that's our discriminators. Okay, that's a sweet spot. So you can see what is your competitor offering, what are the customer needs, what is our capability as in your organization. Okay, so those are the bubbles. So I will just quickly draw you to the sweet spot. Okay, you might want to take your discriminators. The customer needs that, the competitor doesn't have it, and we have it, so of course that's your discriminator. There you go, bam. Okay, so with that we are completing our time slot for today for APMP, that is Association for Proposal Management Professionals. If you are a bid manager, or if you are quotation guy, this is the association for you. Okay, and if you are doing tenders day in and day out, uh, try following the industry, and of course you will get a lot of pointers wherein it helps you to not only hone your skills, but of course do your work better. With that, we come to the end of our session today. Up until next week, take good care of yourself. Our next week and the following 2 weeks would be all recorded sessions. We will be replaying the recorded sessions of previous sessions, that is on 20th, 27th, and 3rd of September. And thereafter, we will go live again on the 10th. Up until then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.